I am so excited and so delighted to have with us today Mr. David Ogunwojo, a man of excellence, passionate about growth and development for youths and people in general. I can call him a Ghost General. A Ghost General. Thank you very much for coming on this program today, sir. We are so pleased to have you.
Oh, it's a privilege. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
inviting me. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, on a lighter note, maybe just some fun facts about you that you may like to share with us. Anyone that wants to know
Uh,
about it can always go to your LinkedIn page and learn more, but probably some one or two fun facts.
yeah, thank you so much for that. One thing I'm not too sure if most people know is I love singing. I love music.
Interesting.
I'm into music. Yeah, I really love to do music. But
Uh,
majorly, my passion is to mentor and coach teenagers and young adults.
that's fine.
I've been doing that for over 20 years,
Hmm,
and we've been seeing results.
beautiful.
So mentoring is great and all that.
Beautiful.
And I those are majorly some fun facts, at
That's
least that
fine.
people like to know about.
Right. Thank you very much. And I think we are also here today to dwell more on that which you've been doing for about 20 years now, talking about cultivating emotional intelligence, a key to personal and professional success. That's what we are discussing today. To set the ball rolling, sir, let's give an overview. What's emotional intelligence about?
Thank you so much. I would like to first um, emphasize this that we are emotional, that we are emotional beings, and these emotions are powerful forces that drive our thoughts, actions, and relationships. And I must say this, that how do we now coordinate all of these emotions together to help us? That's where emotional intelligence comes into play. Emotional intelligence is a set of skills and abilities which is related to recognizing, understanding, and managing one's emotion. First, one's emotions first, then recognizing and then responding to the emotions of others.
Hmm.
That's very key. First is your own emotions, and then secondly, the emotions of others. And I have to say these facts about emotional intelligence. One, and very key, that emotional intelligence is not about you or others,
Hmm.
but about you and others. I'll repeat that because it's key.
That's
It's
fine.
not about you or others, but about you and others.
How do you?
Let me respond. That's key. I want to say this, that the golden rule says, treat others as you would like to be treated. It has to do with you and others. The 10 Commandments has a division of two. The first four has to do with you and God. The sixth, the last six ones, that's from 5 to 10, has to do with you and others. So everything that we're talking about now, it's about you and others. And emotional intelligence thrives on interdependence. That's understanding and managing your own emotions is crucial, but it is not complete without the ability to empathize with and connect with others' emotions, actively recognizing and valuing the emotions of others. That it's so key that I feel it's important for us to note that. And I remember the words of late Professor Chinua Achebe.
All
He
right.
said, when the center no longer holds, things fall apart.
Hmm.
I must be sincere with you that emotional intelligence is that very center, keeping us steady amidst life's uncertainties, and helping us to build meaningful connections. It's like the anchor in a storm. When it's strong, we stay grounded and navigate life's challenges effectively. But without it, things can spiral out of control. You see, there's a passage in the Bible. I'll be referring to the Bible, but I can assure you that I'm not going to collect an offering from you. So don't worry.
That's fine.
You see, Philippians 2:4 says something which I love so much, and
All
it's
right.
about emotional intelligence. He said, "Don't look out only for your own interests. He said, but take an interest in others too."
That's fine.
I love it so much. So that when you're dealing with people, you're not dealing with people as an entity, dealing with them as an individual. You're dealing with them as individuals that have emotion. And that's crucial in whatever. You will see even in Jesus. Jesus, in John 11:35, the Bible says that Jesus wept.
Yes.
That's showing emotion. The following verse says that the Jews looked and said, wow, how he loved him. But he didn't stop there. He went further and did that miracle that he did. He resurrected his friend. Yeah. So beyond you recognizing emotions and trying to understand, managing, you still need to move forward and do something tremendous. There's a passage in the scriptures, like I said, James 2:15-16. It says, suppose there are brothers or sisters who need clothes and don't have enough to eat. So what good is there in your saying to them, God bless you, keep warm and eat well, if you don't give them the necessities of life? The truth of the matter is that you recognize with them. That's your emotion. You recognize with them, but you're not doing anything about them. And that's not so. Emotional intelligence is your action, favorable that is favorable to you and the others. So it's not about you alone, it's about others. And that's key in what we are doing now. So the key thing, emotional intelligence is not about you or others. It's about you and others.
Thank you very much. I think that sets the very solid foundation for our thoughts this afternoon. Now, linking emotional intelligence with purpose. Is there a synergy between your emotions and your purpose?
Thank you for this very wonderful question. Late Dr. Miles Monroe said that when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. The truth of the matter is this: the main thing in life, the major thing in life, is about fulfillment of purpose.
That's fine.
It's not about acquiring material things, but being impactful. Being impactful, it's so much. It's about fulfilling purpose. And I'm going to use a case study.
That's fine.
And my case study is going to be Jesus.
Okay.
You see, I'm going to move forward. I'll fast forward to the time of when Jesus went to pray at the Garden of Gethsemane.
All right, sir.
You'll notice that before that time, Judas Iscariot betrayed him. And then he went with the disciples to pray. He told the disciples to stay, that he wants to go and pray. Then he called three of his, the best friends, let me just put it like that, Peter, James, and John. Said, please follow me. They went with him and he said something that is so important. He said, my soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me. Now, they stayed there. He has told them that he's sorrowful, that he's depressed, that he's distressed, that he has serious pains within him. He told them. But when he came to them, that's about 1 hour, he said, look, you're sleeping. This is not the time to sleep. He went back, came back the second time, third time, they were still sleeping. Now, what I want you to note that very clearly, that when Jesus was praying, he said, if this cup will pass over me, he said, but not my will, let your will be done.
Yes, sir.
The purpose of God, of Jesus, as at that time, he has to pass through the cross of Calvary. Now, that's in the road to his fulfillment of purpose. But he's now preparing for that purpose. But the people, the friends, because I want you to note this, the others that we're talking about, the others are not cooperating with him.
Yes.
They're just on their own. Even the best friends, the three best friends were sleeping. The others were just on their own. So eventually, the disciples abandoned him. Peter denied him, not once, not twice, 3 times.
3 times, yes.
The people rejected him. I wanted to look at how Jesus managed his emotions, how he displayed emotional intelligence on his way to fulfilling purpose. The people rejected him when they said, oh, come, can you pick between Jesus and Barabbas? He said, look, we prefer Barabbas. Let this man just go away. Wow. They rejected him. He went away. The Jews, the soldiers humiliated him. They slapped him. They spat on him. Even when he was nailed to the cross, the thief at the left-hand side said, look, you are just there. He insulted him. But Jesus never, he didn't repay them with whatever evil. He said, eventually, he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He said, I'm going to fulfill this purpose. I'm going to die to save sinners. But the truth of the matter is that he's pained. It's not as if he's happy. The normal thing that we would have done if we lack emotional intelligence is actually, come on, forget it. I don't have anything to lose. They have everything to lose. And they're not even cooperating. They are rejecting me. They are humiliating me. They are insulting me. Let me just go away. But no, he controlled his emotions.
That's fine.
And he was so particular about their interests that eventually the rest is history now.
That's right.
In other words, is that Jesus was so versed when it comes to emotional intelligence. It is so concerned about others. It's not about, even when they did wrong, even when they humiliated him, he was still able to fulfill purpose, coordinate himself, thinking about them as well. So it's about him and them. He said, I'm not going to give up on them. He said, even God, just forgive them. Don't worry about them. So that's emotional intelligence. And he fulfilled purpose. It's not easy. Yeah. And even as we are, it's not easy on our path, because we'll face insults, we'll face humiliation, we'll face all sorts. But if we know our purpose and we're focused on our purpose, whatever comes our way, whatever comes our path, we know that we will fulfill purpose by exercising and practicing emotional intelligence.
Thank you very much, sir. The key thing here is, all through the time Jesus Christ was going through the pain, the insult, the humiliation, he stayed focused. He didn't allow that to get on him or over him. Now, aside from pain, how about pleasures?
Thank you so much for this. I think this is key. And that will bring me to Joseph. That will bring me to Joseph. And it will bring me to Daniel as well.
That's right.
You see, when Potiphar's wife was at Joseph, said, look, we're going to have these things together. You cannot escape. You're too handsome and all that. But Joseph knows that, look, I have to fulfill purpose. And I have to control, because we're talking about self-awareness now.
Yes.
And self-awareness is so key. It's so key, because it is the foundational substructure upon which the entire emotional intelligence building stands.
That's fine.
Recognizing, understanding your own emotions, not emotions alone, strength, weaknesses, and motivators. It's very important. Now, Joseph knows that, look, I don't want to lose my purpose. I don't want to just be anybody anyhow. I have dreamt. God has showed me. I have to fulfill. So he had to apply his own emotional intelligence and say, look, what will I lose? If I do this, I'm going to sin against God. if I don't, yes, there may be repercussions, there may be punishment and all that. I'd rather go for that. So he's not thinking about himself alone, but he's thinking about others. He's even thinking about Potiphar, because Potiphar loved him so much, and he emphasized it. He said, look, your husband loved me so much. He trusted me so much. He had given me all of this. He didn't even supervise me. Will I betray him? That's emotional intelligence. It's thinking about himself and thinking about Potiphar. And that's crucial. The same thing with Daniel. He had the opportunity to have pleasure, the food, king's food and all that. He said, no, I'm not going to sin against God. I want to fulfill purpose. So he disciplined himself. That is self-regulation, because it's so important. Beyond self-awareness, there's self-regulation, because it's important. You have to manage your emotion effectively, delaying gratification and adapting to challenging situations. Very important. So these are pleasures come to our way. And I'll say this, that unfortunately, so many people have lost their impacts because of pleasure. And maybe we get to self-awareness, because when you have a foundational substructure that is meant to carry two-story building, for example, and you now said, look, let me take it up to 7-story building. You know, it can't. Some people take positions. Some people take responsibility that they know they have not really dealt with their own weaknesses. And then eventually they crash. That's where you see scandals here and there. People who, though started well, but because they didn't take time to practice emotional intelligence, they didn't take time to really study about their weaknesses, their strengths, their emotions. And they just say, look, I can carry it. And you see the scandals here and there. So Samson is an example. Samson didn't treat his weakness. He lacked that emotional intelligence. Eventually, he was disgraced, you know, and it was unfortunate, but at least God was able to help him. So that's about pleasure. So it's both pain and pleasure.
Wow, thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. This is really nice. Moving ahead, sir. I know you started to touch down on some of these things, but we're dealing about emotional intelligence and the impact it has on one's life on the journey to purpose fulfillment. I think it will also be good for us to give some exercise, or what are the things one can do to build one's emotional intelligence.
No, can you come again? The network
All right.
was
Oh, that's fine.
unstable.
Sorry about that, sir. I was just asking that what are some strategic exercise that one can do that you can recommend for an individual to develop or enhance their emotional intelligence?
Mm. We're still coming back now to the self-awareness thing. That's I love the 4-branch model by Daniel Goleman.
That's fine.
The core abilities: self-awareness, self-regulation, social awareness, and relationship management. Now, the first thing actually is for you to know yourself.
That's fine.
Know yourself. That's the first thing. Know yourself. Now, know your strength. Know your weakness. Know your motivators. It's very important. First thing is know yourself. The prodigal son, after he had messed up and all that, the Bible says he came to himself. He came to himself, and that's why he took the decision he took. First thing is know yourself. And then we now need to practice meditation. And by meditation, I mean reflection. We have to reflect. What are the things I'm doing that I am not supposed to do? What are the things I am doing that I am not supposed to do? What are the things I am not doing that I ought to do? These are important things. So reflection is so key. If you wake up in the morning, you talk to yourself that today I am not going to bring anybody down. but rather I'm going to help lift people up. I'm not going to say words that will be hurtful to people. I'm going to say words that would bring joy and motivation to people. That reflection in the morning, and when at the end of the day, you think again and reflect on what you've done. Have I done the right thing or not? And that comes with feedback. We need feedback. We need feedback from people. We need feedback from people, from even those that we don't like, friends and whoever, that, look, I need feedback. And we get feedback all along. And then let's understand to read what's called non-verbal cues. When I'm talking to somebody, for example, and then I can see within that this person is not happy with what I'm saying, and I still continue to say exactly what I'm saying. No, I should stop. I should stop. So we must be actively involved in practicing and identifying non-verbal cues.
Fine.
It's very important. Very, very important. And feedback. So reflection and actively listening, because most of the time we don't listen. We only hear. That actively listen. Let's listen to people. Let's hear what they're saying. Let's really do this. Let's not allow ourselves to be carried away. Let's not think about ourselves alone. Let's think about the others. Very important.
You have really so emphasized so much today on not you alone, but you and others.
Very
And I
well.
also want to believe that purpose is not just about me, it's also about others.
Yes, sir.
You have also touched down on knowing yourself,
Mm.
receiving feedback, self-awareness, knowing your strengths and weaknesses.
Mm.
Someone, so many people are out there who probably, you have also touched down on why people also fail, especially when there are difficult situations or probably due to pressure or due to pleasure. Now, one would tend to ask the question, how can one
Okay.
leverage emotional intelligence to navigate challenging situations?
Mm. 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 That's key. That's really key. When we've talked about emotional intelligence,
Yes,
and it's actually about skills and abilities.
that's
So
fine.
it's not just something that you just sleep and wake up and you are emotionally intelligent. No, it has to do with skills. It
Okay,
has to do with ability, and
okay,
it must be developed.
that's
It's
fine.
not just something that it must be developed.
Mm,
So I still want to say this, and it's very crucial, and that's to do with when you know yourself. When knowing yourself has to do with recognizing and understanding your emotions, strengths, weakness, and motivators, like I said earlier.
that's
But
fine.
there's something about all of us.
Okay,
It's called blind spot.
all right.
Blind spot in emotional intelligence is a gap in our understanding of how our emotions and actions influence ourselves
Yeah,
and those around us.
that's fine.
Now, if we know that everything we do has impact on others, we will now sit down, even in our families, that look, what exactly am I going to do? What exactly should I do? What exactly should I practice so that I will not be like burden to people? I'd rather be motivator. I'd
That's fine.
rather be an encourager. I will speak with grace, not with hurtful words that we have. I have heard of people who had committed suicide because of what people had said to them. I
Then,
have. They just talk without having that stuff. So when we know that this is a blind spot, we work on the blind spot. And this aspect is so important that we need accountability partners.
that's fine.
Very important that somebody will be able to tell me that, David, you're not doing things rightly.
Mm,
What you said the other time, My wife is my major accountability partner.
That's fine.
She will always tell me and say, you shouldn't have said that. I will feel, no, but there's nothing wrong about it. I said, no, this is the implication. Okay, next time. And I'll say, whenever you are around me, just give me sign,
That's fine.
non-verbal cues. Let me know that, okay, just stop. It's okay. So it's important for us to have that at the back of our mind. And then let's self-regulate.
That's fine.
Let's manage our emotions effectively. Yes, it may be difficult, but let's just know that, look, I can do this. I can do this. I don't have to continue like this. We always have feedback, even unsolicited feedback. When you know people are running away from you, you know something is wrong. Something is wrong somewhere. When people are running away from you, this is very easy when you have a preschool, for example.
Okay.
Whenever a child is not so happy going to school, you know that something is wrong.
Yes.
When you change the class teacher of a particular boy and is not feeling excited going to school, and that's not what he used to do before, you know that something is wrong.
Something is wrong.
So it's now important for us to self-regulate. Let's self-regulate and then have social awareness. Social awareness are empathizing with others, understanding their emotions and perspective. And this is very important. This perspective thing is so important. And it's yes, we need to develop diversity and inclusion. We need to have that. It's so important because all of us, excluding nobody, we have what is called unconscious biases. Maybe as a Christian, I have unconscious biases against Muslim. Maybe as a Yoruba man, I have unconscious biases against Hausa. All of these things, we have to work. We must allow diversity and then inclusion to be part of what we do. There are talents, there are gifts, there are opportunities that we miss because of unconscious biases. So all of this, that social awareness must be there. Empathizing with others. We must understand their emotions and perspective and recognizing power dynamics, very important. And then relationship management. We must build strong relationships. Now, communication is so important.
Yes,
communicate. Sir. Let's communicate effectively, resolving conflicts constructively and influencing others positively. It's so important. That communication is important. And then there's a book called Ego. Now, ego, yes. Ego is the problem. Ego is the problem. Because we just feel we're everything. We just feel we're everything. So we see individuals who are not at par with us as if they can give us advice. They can't advise us. There are so many corporations. There are so many organizations who have been saved by janitors, who have been saved by so-called low-level workers.
That's fine.
But when leaders know that, look, I can leverage on this, let me flow with everybody, you will be surprised how everyone will cooperate, why everyone will look out for you. As you're looking out for them, they are looking out for you. And that's where the golden rule says that treat others as you would like to be treated.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you very much for that. This is really important. I would like you to talk more on the point on the motivators. The motivators. Because of a truth, do we still have motivators in our society today? Because everybody seems to be running with their own life, their own business. And I don't think anyone is looking after another person again. What do you have to say, sir?
Maybe larger percentage.
All right.
But there are still few who are looking out for others. I have mentors who are still looking out for me.
That's great.
I have friends who are still looking out for me.
That's great.
Like I said earlier, my wife is looking out for me, definitely.
That's good.
Yes, there are, but it now depends on the perspective.
That's fine.
If you have a wrong perspective, you'll be motivated by material things.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So those are the people that you want to align with. You want, oh, I want to build a mansion in a day. So the business enterprise concept will not be what will motivate you. It will be, oh, I need to just do this. I need to just do that. And that's where we find young ladies. They say hook up. They call it now hook up. But we know the real meaning. Now, because they just need money. And I have seen young ladies who have been sacrificed by so-called boys. We know them. Now, why? Because they were motivated just for iPhones. I need iPhones. They look at the celebrities. So those are their motivators. But no, those individuals who know that they have to be impactful, who know that they want their names to keep ringing even after their death. Those ones will be motivated by few individuals. And the challenge is, I want to be part of the few ones so that I will be able to motivate that young lady, that young man to know that purpose is the crucial thing. To know that, look, beyond the material things, purpose is the key thing. Being impactful positively is the main thing. So motivators are still available, but it now depends, and that's where emotional intelligence comes into play.
That's fine,
what
sir.
Exactly do you cherish? What exactly is motivating you as an individual?
That's
If
great.
it is just to be rich, if it is just for you to be called whatever, millionaire, billionaire, whatever, if that's all you want, it's okay. But if there are individuals who want to be impactful in life, who want to save souls, who want to make sure that people are encouraged, people are lifted through them. Yes, those. So it's working on oneself first, much more than just having it, because it depends on what is motivating you that would lead you to whoever you feel will be motivated. But as individual, that's the challenge for me and for you, is that let's see that individual that young ones will lean on and be able to say, this man is my motivator. And that's what is motivating me.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Moving ahead, I want to ask this. There are some people who are currently facing rejection as a result of what has been said to them and how they have handled what have been said to them. How can they come out of this?
This is really a very powerful question, and it's something that is happening every now and then. I met a young lady last week. Yes, last week.
That's fine.
And I challenged her. I said, why are you not doing this? Why are you not doing that? He said, because of the person leading us. He said, you spoke to me and I cried.
Wow.
I wept. I was hopeless. Said I was depressed. It really taught me. You see, and that's where we're still coming to the same thing we've been talking over and over and over again. And that's us to still do with self-awareness.
Self-awareness, yeah.
An individual must focus on himself first.
That's
must
right.
focus, because that's the foundational structure upon which anything can be laid.
That's fine.
You must focus on yourself. It's difficult.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And that's where we're calling for mentors to help out. And You see, when you focus on yourself, you're aware that, look, God has created me and I have what it takes. He said, I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Yeah.
These are affirmative words that are crucial to always say, but they need exposure to materials like this to be able to know that, look, I am not useless.
That's
I
fine.
am not useless. And that's where emotional intelligence is so important. How will these ones rise up again? Because they are down already.
Yeah.
How will I tell them that, look, you are great? Because that's what I do. I pull people aside and tell, you're great. You are not useless.
That's fine.
You're worthy. You're wonderful.
That's fine.
Now, and I tell them, say this to yourself over and over again. Say this to yourself over and over again, over and over again. Now, when you say this to yourself over and over again, and it enter not only your conscious, but your subconscious mind,
That's fine.
then you begin to see yourself the way that God is seeing you. So, and once it's just like a child, maybe a girl or a young lady, whose father always say, you are beautiful, you are lovely, you are intelligent. And then somebody now wants to, one boy like that, now want to use that to, no, he will say, keep your mouth shut. I hear that every day.
That's
My
it.
dad tells me that every day.
That's it.
But if a particular individual doesn't hear that every day, it's you worthless, you're this, you are that. And then one boy like that say, oh, you are beautiful and all that. And the intention of the young man is just to have fun and all that. Now, such an individual will fall into that. So, and that awareness must be there. And I'm calling on all people who have this passion.
That's fine.
To please make sure that we don't allow people who are just there, who do not understand emotional intelligence, who think about themselves only and not the interest of others, that we should not give them space to overcome, to just take charge. We should take that responsibility and make sure that we do not allow such to just go, especially in places of worship.
That's fine.
I must be specific. In church. The one I just told you now of was in the church.
Wow.
And the person will feel, I should be safe in the church.
Yes.
But unfortunately, it's not the same. It's that same safety. And then you now you drive her away. It goes out because that's where people deceive, then tell her she's this, she's that. And so the challenge is all of us, let's take up this challenge and make sure that we bring people up. We let them know that they're wonderful because there are people who are hurting. I must be sincere with you. People are hurting. But let's be the light. Let's be the light. But for individuals, they have to brace up themselves. But somebody must be the motivator. Somebody must be the one that should do that. And it's you, it's me.
Thank you very much, sir. From this story you just shared, I can see that one of the common mistakes leaders made, if their emotions are not well managed, is one of it is just to drive people under them away. Because people, especially leaders, might not, if they don't handle their emotions very well, they might not have good followers. Followers might not see any reason for them to follow them, among other things. And sincerely today, you have talked more about self-awareness, but I know we cannot exhaust that. But what are the dangers? What are the dangers that we can have again if our emotions are not well managed, especially for young ones like me coming on board on the journey to fulfilling purpose?
You destroy a soul.
Mm.
You totally destroy his soul. When you bring people down,
Mm.
you destroy that person.
Mm.
You destroy the soul. The self-worth, the self-esteem of an individual, that's the key thing.
Mm.
You break it, you destroy it. So the person moves around and have it at the back of his or her mind that, look, I'm worthless.
Mm.
I'm just useless. So, and God had given such an individual as in wonderful gifts to bless souls. What you have just done is you have stopped a source, a flow.
Mm.
Now that individual was supposed to have impact and pass it on to other individuals. Pass it on. But you
Mm.
block the flow. That's the danger. You block. So the sensitivity they make, you have blocked the flow.
Mm.
And you do that over. So if you have that in multiple you see the effect. And it's you into carry guns, carry this and that, killing individuals. You kill vision, you kill ambition, you kill passion. So that's why it's important to always be conscious in whatever we do. Be conscious in whatever we do. Let's know that, look, I am dealing with not a tree. If it's a tree, it's okay. And that's why I started. I said we are emotional beings.
Yes,
If
sir.
we understand that we're dealing with somebody who has emotions, be careful.
Mm.
Be careful. And sir, one thing again is that people pass it on. Pass it on how?
Mm.
They've suffered that toxic environment.
Yeah.
They grew up in that environment. So
Mm.
they themselves carried it on, and
Mm.
then they maybe fortunately or fortunately, I don't know, become
Mm.
a leader. And then
Mm.
they pass it on again.
To the
Pass it
next
on again.
person.
So,
Mm. Mm.
but when individuals can still practice emotional intelligence,
That's fine.
must work on themselves.
That's fine.
Reflection is key.
Reflection.
Feedback is key.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you very much, sir. I was almost asking probably for you to just help us talk more about some practical ways through which I can be self-aware.
Mm, mm, mm. You have we've talked about this in the course of our discussion
That's
earlier,
fine. Yes.
but allow me to use one of my um, mentors
All
as
right.
an example.
Fine.
Um, his name is Emeritus Professor Moses Oleke Faole.
That's fine.
I worked under him when I was in the university. I
That's
spent about 6 years with him. Now, he did something when I came from a corporate organization to the
okay.
university system. He
Mm.
was my director at that time.
That's
And when I entered, I was like, I was an administrative of, and minutes writing and all that. No, not, I wasn't used to that. So when we had our first meeting, I wrote a minute of about 8 pages. And I
me.
was so excited. I said, this is comprehensive. Like, this is loaded. So I submitted to him, and he
Mm.
said, okay, he will call me back. So he did all the editing, the red bar here and there, and all that and all that. He reduced it to 3 pages.
Interesting.
8 pages, 3 pages. So he called me. He said, David, sit down.
Mm.
Sit down. And he was now telling me, he said, oh, professors, citizen administrators, they pull me down.
Mm.
He was careful of my self-worth and self-esteem. So he
Mm.
was just saying, you see this, I've done this, you really tried, but I want you to look at the, that when you look at it, just compare,
Mm.
juxtapose what you have written before and what I did. can you see I've compressed it, this and that and that. When I did, I compare.
Wow.
I was improving on gradual, you know, and eventually it came to a point where anytime I write anything, it doesn't check. I said, I've not checked. He said, no, I know it's okay. Since
Wow.
I have said it's okay, I've got to a point where I become a professional myself.
That's fine.
But that emotional intelligence, it didn't bring me down. It didn't discourage me. It only helped. It will always help you to improve. This is now the benefit.
All
I
right.
don't pull people down.
Mm.
No. I make sure their self-worth, self-esteem is intact.
That's fine.
I'm fortunately to serve as a general manager of a telecom company. And where I am, people just flow with me, enjoy things, and said, but they didn't know that I learned it from someone.
That's fine.
Somebody didn't pull me down. Somebody encouraged me. And I am doing the same for others. And I know I have mentees who are doing same for others. So it's that you can see the multiplication now.
That's fine.
You can see the multiplication. So it's exactly not, let's not be discouraged. I may have more space. I may have more influence, even much more than whoever. But so you don't know who you're going to help. Reinhard Bonnke said something one time. He said when he called for, no, a particular preacher, not Reinhard Bonnke now, called for people to give their life. A young boy just came out. He thought that this is a great failure. Oh no, what a terrible thing. But that person is was Reinhard Bonnke.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you feel that, oh, I'm not making impact. You are. You are making impact. Just continue with what you're doing because you keep passing it on. And that other person, you don't know who is going to have a very large space that will continue to take that on and on and on. So let's not be discouraged. Let's just keep doing that, and let's know that our action has an impact in the long run.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's keep doing what we know how to do best, knowing fully well that our actions would always have an impact on others. And how we handle our emotions goes a long way in the journey of purpose. Sir, I don't know if you have your final word for someone out there who is at the point of giving up, who is discouraged, who is rejected, who is depressed, or who is saying, I currently have more negative emotions than positive ones. I want you to help us encourage or say something to such person.
Now, I'll start by telling that person, wherever you're hearing me from, that you are unique.
That's fine.
You are special.
That's fine.
That you're fearfully and wonderfully made. You are, God has seen a need in the world. That's why you are created.
That's fine.
I want that person to know that he or she is created for a purpose. But just like the prodigal son, that individual may not know until you are able to come to yourself. People are outside of themselves now. They need to come to themselves and be able to see that I am not just an individual. That person that is speaking negatively over my life is not my creator. My creator has told me and is telling me that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I'm special.
That's fine.
I'm not ordinary.
That's fine.
So if I'm telling that person right now that know that you are not ordinary. Know that God's plan and purpose for your life is to give you and bring you to a very pleasant end. Know that God always have you. You are inscribed the palm of his hand. Just know that whatever that person is saying to you, maybe your boss, maybe whoever, just know that that person doesn't have the final authority over you.
That's fine.
Does.
That's fine.
And brace up yourself. Practice reflection. Take, affirm positively positive words into your life on daily basis. Speak to yourself on daily basis that, look, I am this, I'm a winner, I'm victorious, I'm a conqueror. Speak to yourself, I'm a success, I'm not a failure. Speak to yourself and work on your weaknesses.
That's fine.
This is very important. Work on your weaknesses. Do not let your weaknesses pull you down.
That's fine.
And I'm telling that person, listen to me now. If your foundation only carry 2-story building, please don't build up to 7-story building because it's going to collapse.
That's fine.
Don't take responsibility that you are not prepared for. We have seen people who have been disgraced, who have one scandal or the other, because they are taking up what they're not prepared for. Work on yourself first. And then those responsibilities will come and you will succeed. And you become, the envy of others. Say, I love this guy.
That's fine.
Let's be the light wherever we are.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's be the light.
And let me say this, sir.
All right.
Yeah, let me say this. There's I want to echo Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie's "We Are the World." A particular lyrics there.
Okay.
He said, "There's a choice we're making.
Yes.
We're seeing our own lives. It's true. We'll make a better day. Just you and me. Let's know that we're making a choice, and we're saving our own lives. And we want to make a better day, and it's between you and me."
Thank you very much. I think that's just a good way to wrap up our discussion today on emotional intelligence. And really, you have done justice to our discussion today. One of the key things for me is if your foundation can just accommodate 2 floors, don't put on a 7-story building. You can't take or you can't chew more at a time. It has to be a gradual thing. And you so much emphasize on self-awareness. I think you also mentioned self-regulation. Yeah, this is very, very important. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on board today. I have my notes here. I've been writing all day and listening well to what you're saying. And
thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing with us today little from your wealth of experience. And I'm sure that someone out there listening to this would take a turn, right, and try as much as possible to build themselves up on their journey to greatness. We are so grateful, sir, for having you on board. And we know that if you want
Thank
to
you
have
so much.
a continuation of this, we'll bring you again to come and share more
It will
light
be a privilege.
on this. Thank you
you,
very much. We are so grateful, sir. Have a wonderful day.
And you too.
Thank you very much, sir.